You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and we thank you so much for joining us. We come your way Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, bringing you the very best in radio. It's positivity injected into your day, and it's evidence-based and scientifically proven that when you listen to things that motivate you, that inspire you, that make you feel good all over at the cellular level, is good for your mental and emotional health. That's right. Every time you listen to this program, when you go away, you find yourself feeling better. We talk about a variety of things, and we invite you to become a part of the conversation. We want to hear your story because we value what it is that you feel and how you begin to line up on the questions and the issues that we present to you. And today we're talking about something that always, I think, it caused some level of controversy and some thinking on this and how people line up. We're talking today about spanking. If you've ever had a child, listen to this, and if you ever had kids, it is inevitable that you've had to discipline your child. Now, whether it is a nagging, consistent whine at the restaurant, or a dramatic cry fest at the store, or an unbelievable temper tantrum at home, you have found yourself having to correct a child's behavior, disciplining them. A recent study about spanking shows that spanking of children from ages 2 to 6 doesn't put the children at risk for depression or antisocial behavior, violence, or sexual activity. Psychology professor Marjorie Linder Gunnar view of spanking is that a few calmly delivered swats to the behind of a 2 to 10-year-old done without rage or face slapping or belts or switches won't damage the child. But there is another side, namely boomer parents who believe that any spanking is bad given the proof that much spanking is associated with aggression and other harmful effects in children. Experts see the following. A child quickly stops hitting friends or throwing rocks soon after a spanking, but will likely do it again. The parent, having watched the spanking initially succeed, applies the punishment again, more severely, then again, escalating toward abuse. The problem many people have with spanking is that parents in general can't judge when they cross the line between reasonable physical punishment and abuse. That message resonates with many baby boomers who believe in other forms of discipline, such as timeouts. Deborah Sendek, executive director of the Anti-Spanking Center for Effective Discipline, says those that believe in spanking talk about doing so under very controlled environments, not in the heat of the moment or as they're lashing out. I understand their philosophy, but respectfully beg to differ. If a parent is going to take the time to step back, cool down from the immediate anger, frustration, disappointment, and then there are other more proactive strategies that can be taken if they would do that first. Do I become frustrated, angry, upset with my coworkers, my spouse, my pets, my neighbors, etc.? Most definitely, but I do not strike out and hit them. Even if I did, it would be wrong to try and teach them a lesson. Come on. What should I do to be different for my child? Well, you just think about it. She made a very good point. I get frustrated with Phil, who works the board, and Emiliano, who's my producer. Do I spank them? No, I don't. Why? First, they would enjoy it. So I won't. I'm not going to go there. They would love that. They do things deliberately to provoke me. We want you to go there. We want you to spank us. No. So I'm not going to go there. Let me share this with you, seriously. I first of all, I have children, sons and daughters, and I never spank my daughters. My sons, only 2 of them had required spanking. And I've only done that to one. I can't count the number of times he required that. If I'd said time out to him, that would have been great for him. I'm a child. My mother spanked me. And you would call it more not a spanking. You would call that a beat down. We could not characterize that as a spanking. No, Mamie Brown did not spank. And you had to go get a switch, and you couldn't bring back a little small switch. You had to go get something that could really hurt your little buns. Now, I wish I'd had this show before I flew back and saw something on a plane the other day. Little boy, he must have been about 5 or 6 years old. He was just kicking the back of the chair of the person that was in front of him. I happen to be that person. So his mother kept telling him to stop kicking that man's chair. And so it was disturbing. I could not sleep. It was a 5-hour flight. And so he started again. She said, stop. So she couldn't tell him time out. She couldn't tell him to time out and go someplace and sit down because he was in a seatbelt on a plane. So she said, look, she said, we have to get up and move right now. And so she got up she took his seatbelt loose to go and talk to the flight attendant about moving him to another seat in the back of the plane because there's enough room. He stood up, and as she was unbuckling her seatbelt, he spit in her face and slapped her. 6 years old. And he says, there, that'll teach you. I looked, I said, oh my God. I was embarrassed for her. I turned red in the face, so you know I was embarrassed. Okay, he spit in her face and slapped her. He said, there. He was angry with her. And she cried. She said, don't you do that. Don't you do that. I'm going to tell your father when we get home. I'm saying, oh my God. Whew. Now, here's the challenge and the opportunity. How do you deal with that? If you're in the shopping mall, in the shopping store, if you're at home, and your kids spit in your face, kick you, or slap you, do you say time out? Now, that's Johnny, you're a bad boy. Don't you ever do that again. What do you do with that? I'd like to know where you are with that. We'd like for you to call. The number to call is 888-539-2980. 888-539-2980. I want you to call. How did you discipline your children? I'd like to know that. Would you call us and tell us your story of what worked for you? 888-539-2980. Maybe you don't believe in that. Want to hear from you. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Call me now, 888-539-2980. You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980.